you say that it is grist, it is meat for one and poison for the other?
So, well, first of all, Richard, it's a pleasure to be with you as always. I think we have to recognize we're still a ways out from the heart of this campaign in a remarkably uncertain environment. I think that if you had to guess, but you'd have to put a very wide uncertainty band around it, you would say a year from now, I'd be on the more optimistic side of the economy. I think inflation is continuing to come down, and people tend to react to inflation on a very short-term basis. What did it cost, last week to buy groceries or to fill their gas tanks? And I think we watch the inflation rate coming down. There's a good chance we'll see some bump in unemployment due to the rising interest rates, but there's no sign we'll see large numbers of unemployment, a huge spike. And the job creation's been pretty solid. So don't get me wrong, there'll be arguments on both sides. Some people will be talking about the negatives, some the positive. That's always true. I just think that the net of it is likely to be a relatively positive picture if you project out a year to a year and a half from now.
You see, the old line, it's the economy, stupid, which of course goes back to previous campaigns. But inflation has been worldwide. I mean, I think only when you get an international perspective, you realize that the US has had it, but the UK's got it worse and it's still there elsewhere. But there have been difficult times, but there hasn't been that heavy loss of jobs that we saw in recessions. And I wonder if people will simply just say, well, things have got a bit more difficult.
Look, there will be a negative narrative that will be portrayed by those who want to take the office, and I think there'll be a positive story about 12 million plus job creations and inflation coming back under control despite all of the global challenges that'll be put forward. I actually think this may be one election where the economy stupid is not the defining element of the election. There's division on so many levels. There's such geopolitical complexity. I don't think that it will be the economy as the defining factor in this election, the way we've seen it in many past elections. If anything, it'll be a slight positive, but for the people that are angry about other things, will it be so positive that it'll offset that? I don't think so.
Rich, the market's down quite sharply today, and one of the reasons is UPS, which, as you know, has its finger in just about every part of the US economy. It's basically saying things are getting tougher, and we're off now nearly 300 points. Now, your company also has its fingers in many different pies of the US and indeed the global economy. Can you feel it? Does it feel that things are getting better, or does it still feel that we have, if not exactly a recession, but we've still got a bit of sludge to trudge through?
I like the way you framed it. I think a bit of sludge to trudge through, Richard, is a good description. Remember, the rising interest rates, the uncertainty that's come with that has not played all the way through yet. And when we see companies in their internal dialogues right now, there's a lot of focus on resilience for a very uncertain world. And I don't think, do I see that translating into the unemployment rate spiking in a huge way? No, but will many companies take action to be more protective of their P&Ls, more careful about the near-term growth environment? I do think we'll see that. So we're not through this yet. And but on the flip side, it doesn't feel at all like it felt going into some really harsh time.
Sure. Rich, one final question, which we talk so much about AI and ChatGPT and all of these sort of things. How are you managing the use of things like ChatGPT at Boston? Are you, an outright ban? No, but you don't want all your people using it to do other work. I mean, how can you integrate it to take advantage of the new AI opportunities, but at the same time, don't let it take over?
Well, you've put your finger on a critical issue right now. it's hard to be in a discussion with a business executive. And frankly, many of the discussions inside BCG2 were generative AI and the potential it offers and the ways to do things differently and more efficiently doesn't come up as a big opportunity. But the care that one needs to take in that is enormous. Care to use it responsibly, care to run controlled experiments versus letting it run like wildfire where everybody does their own thing, care to be responsible around whether it's protecting IP or whether it's ensuring that, hallucinations somehow don't enter into the internal dialogue or what you prepare for a customer or a client. I mean, those are huge issues right now that companies are wrestling with very real time. We're 5 months in, I think, to the explosion of this as a publicly visible, rapidly advancing technology, and everybody's in an incredibly rapid learning mode right now. And that's where we are as well. And that's
we're going to talk more.
So many.
We'll talk more about this with you. I'm grateful to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you as always.
It's great to see you.